In Minecraft Legends, you can amass a giant army, but there are special recruits that you should really try and get hold of. These are the first. There are 4 golems specifically, and they've got each individual uses. But some are definitely better than others, so I'm going to give you a quick guide into what they do, how they actually fight, and which ones you should try and unlock first. If you find this useful, go and check out the rest of my Minecraft Legends guides. Let's go, rat bags. So each of the first that you find, you will have to come across a question mark in one of the biomes, and this is where they'll be hiding. So it might take quite a while to find all 4, but there's definitely a cost in unlocking them. It uses up a lot of your gold that you get from raiding some of the piglin outposts and some of their bigger fortresses. So you really want to make sure you're choosing which one to unlock or which one you think might suit your playstyle. Unlike pets that have specific biomes they'll spawn in, the first spawn randomly. So obviously make sure you've got a good fast mount to get around, and you've unlocked plenty of the villages and well points so you can respawn and try and look for them. The best advice is when you do come across one, even if you can't unlock it yet, go ahead and make sure you put a well tower so you can spawn close to it and then go and unlock it when you've got enough resources. They will appear on the map in an icon though when you haven't unlocked them. So once you found a question mark and you realise it's one of the first, you'll see the cost that it has to revive him. Each one will cost at least 100 gold and another resource. But you do need to go ahead and put one of the improvements down at your fountain base before you can go ahead and basically revive him. This costs 100 stone and 100 of the prismarine. Once this place that you found in, you can go ahead and revive any of the actual big first golems as long as you've got enough gold and other resources. Now the first don't actually count as a mob as part of your total, so you can bring as many as you can carry plus the 4 additional first mobs alongside you into battle. And of course, as you can read, if they die then they will just simply respawn at a fountain, and when you do the recall at any mob spawner they will also appear. That's important because they have got a bit more of a mind of their own. They tend to be a bit slower than the rest of the mobs and they can get distracted more easily. They're all good in their own way, but if you do happen to find all 4 locations of them, I would say avoid making the first of oak first. It's a long range one. It's meant to fire a heavy bombardment, pretty much as a heavy skeleton archer. That's where you want to have it amongst your units. I find it fires just a little bit too slow to be super useful, and certainly I think some of the other first are much more useful. This one's going to cost 500 wood and 100 gold to go ahead and revive. Next up, you've got the first of the brick. Now these are quite useful because they do have a shield that they will plonk down randomly anywhere around them, and it means that anyone inside there is pretty much going to heal or keep protected. These guys are 125 iron and 100 gold. They've all got quite a lot of health, so they can be great for distracting enemies while you go and basically take your other army and destroy the portal or whatever it is you're attacking. They're meant to do this shield, and as you can see, when it actually works, it is going to protect you. But if that shield goes in the wrong spot, you're pretty much weak still against enemy attacks. So really make sure you're directing this guy on his own, not as just part of the mob, as you don't want that happening and him deploying that shield in a useless spot. My playstyle is I do tend to rush with all my mobs rather than individually send them sometimes, and I did find that quite a few times he would put the shield up just in the wrong spot. It does run out after a little while, and then there's a small cooldown for him to use the shield again. It was also one of the last ones that I found in my playthrough, so maybe that's why I didn't rate it as highly as some of the others. Next up is definitely one of my favourites. It is the first of the stone. 500 stone, 100 gold, and this guy is going to help you pretty much bulldoze and take a lot of attention from the piglins. He throws giant boulders, so it can be good for destroying stuff, but yeah, it's just a big tank class that really will distract a lot of enemies. So you can have him helping fire and destroy structures alongside maybe your cobblestone golems, or you can actually set him apart like I said and use him as a distraction while the rest of your cobblestone golems actually go for the portal. But my favourite one by far is the first of the diorite. This is going to cost you again 100 gold and 125 coal. He will spawn his own little private army of golems that you can then go ahead and direct, meaning you can have 2 big groups of golems to decimate gates and keep others at bay or occupied. You effectively double your army almost in having one group that you can set at one objective and then make sure you've got him and his army going to another one. Again, one of my favourite tactics is really just to go in with as many of the cobblestone golems as possible to see if we can just rush the actual portal. Can be a bit hard keeping track of them sometimes, so always make sure you've got, again, another spawner so you can recall him, and yeah, just make sure that you don't forget he's got his own special army that you can summon. And there we go, just a little quick guide into the first and which ones I think are worth getting up and running. It's going to take quite a while to get that amount of gold. Remember, you only get a small amount for taking on a small outpost, and you get a bigger amount obviously for the medium and large, but yeah, you might have to take quite a few outposts out to get enough to buy each one. So aim for first of the diorite, then first of the stone, then go for the first of the brick, and then first of the oak last. If you found that useful, do leave a like, check out the rest of my guides, and for the best in survival games content, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you rat bags later.